course he wants to. Blood poured down in streams, dripping onto the spinning limo. In a panic, he fled, leaving countless pieces of evidence at the scene. Days passed in the blink of an eye. The milk delivery guy discovered that Rhoda's house was piling up with milk. He climbed up on the wall to take a look inside. I was so scared I fell directly down. The police quickly sealed off the scene. Jenks was running around in the yard. During these days as Rhoda's staff, he dug a large pit in the yard. The forensic expert found 2 decomposed bodies in that pit. Dan lay in his rental for 3 days. His mind was filled with thoughts of the debris. He was very curious why the police hadn't come to arrest him yet. With ardent pointers, I looked at the forensic results. There were no signs of outsiders visiting Rhoda's home. The coffee cup only had dog saliva. The stain on the coffee table, the stain on the front door, tied outside the house, everywhere was the same. Jenks spent 3 days cleaning up the evidence thoroughly. But Dojong isn't a fool. He quickly noticed the inconsistencies. If there were no outsiders, why would Roya use paper cups for coffee? I reminded him, this case analysis meeting is not about discussing who killed Roya, but about discussing who Roya killed. Forensic tests revealed that the remains in the yard were of Roya's long-missing uncle and aunt. Dacho learned through visiting Roya's friends and relatives that Roya's parents died when she was young. It was the adopted our uncle and them. Her uncle and aunt treated her like their own daughter. They sent her to the best elite school in the area. Because of this, she met friends from wealthy families. In order to integrate Bio into the group, she used her saved pocket money to buy life insurance policies for her uncle and aunt. Then, she staged an accident. The media quickly broke the news. I then watched the news. He originally planned to surrender. He once again dismissed that fact. Officer Lu to follow the regulation. He sent Jenks to euthanasia. On the way, he encountered 2 drunk thugs. One of them smashed a bottle and stepped Officer Lu to the ground. This scene was to see him at Adang, who was now looking for food. Baxia lived at the deceased. One of them he recognized. That was his first criminal case when he just started. The deceased was named Shadowy. She was an excellent student. She came to the best high school for her own effort. Unfortunately, just had a vigilante not long after the tragedy. Xiao jumped off a building, ending her young life. Daxian arrested a few kids involved. The case, which originally had clear evidence, was manipulated by the parents of several suspects. It was turned into a lack of evidence. The case was dragged on until the limitation period ended. Several people thus escaped legal punishment. Xiaohu's father petitioned about this for many years, but never got the desired outcome. In the Randall house, I then received a private chat invitation. Curiosity prompted him to click on it. The other party directly called him by name. I then was terrified. He quickly closed the app. The mailman delivered a letter. I then opened it. It was a court summons from the courthouse. He had previously advanced 3 months' salary. After the first case occurred, he stopped going to work. The convenience store owner sued him for fraud. Cian also saw this notice. Recently, there have been 3 consecutive murders. He spent a week checking surveillance. He found that a university student named Udom was always present at the crime scenes. It's hard not to suspect him, but just then, Alkai found Zhao Hu's father. He wanted to learn about the rape case from that time. Father Hu poured a glass of juice for the dance. Father Hu killed them. Then I killed them. I then thought for a whole week. This time, there was no reason to hide anymore. He cleaned up the murder weapon and put it in his bag. He dialed the police station. The operator checked. They saw the court summoned. But there were too many people turning themselves in. The police station is overwhelmed. The dispatcher told Dan to come back at 9 p.m. Inside the police station, who was stabbed confessed to the murder. Taxi marched over up here in the news. He entered the interrogation room holding the testimony. Who was that sign? Who was that lowered his hat? Taxian asked if he wanted to smoke. Who was that said he had quit for many years? Taxian continued to ask, then why take the blame for someone else? Who was that looked confused and raised his hat. Taxian said, one of the victims had smoke burns on his face. This suggests the killer must smoke. The forensic results show the 2 victims fought back violently. This indicates it wasn't a surprise attack. The fatal one is on the right side of the brain. This suggests the killer is right-handed, but who was that just signed with his left hand? After saying that, he left the interrogation room without looking back. After a moment, Taxian felt okay. He heard his does not act impulsively. This case is not that simple. Okay, then realized he made a big mistake. He had just called the victim's mother, saying they had identified the suspect. Taxian asked who that was. Aktai said, it has been set free. As he arrived at hospital, he asked if Huban knew the murderer. Hu by sight. He stumbled upon news a few days ago. He saw someone avenging his daughter. He didn't have the courage to kill, but he was willing to take the blame for the murderer. As a witness of Xiaohu's case, Daxian could understand Hubai's actions, but even if he wants revenge, he should follow legal procedures. A bi-weekly replied, "If the law could punish the murderer, then those two scoundrels should be in prison now, not dying so quickly." Time passed quickly to 9 o'clock. After taking a deep breath, then decided to try himself in at the police station.